All right, we are sitting here with Aaron from Awolnation. What's up, man? How are
I'm
you?
gonna get kind of closer.
Now, I heard
oh,
a
that's better
rumor.
with the lighting.
I heard a rumor that you're a big Raiders fan.
I am. We
Dude.
may meet y'all in the Super Bowl. That's the big rumor going around right now. But
Really?
I don't
Well, they
know.
are playing pretty good. Not as good as the Dallas Cowboys, but I have to say the Raiders aren't terrible.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. That's
You guys have a great history in the playoffs recently, so we'll see if that catches up to you or not.
Oh!
See, I'm the underdog, man. You know,
That
we have
was
nothing to
harsh.
lose. We're just happy to be alive.
Yeah,
you know?
well, I used to live in L.A., and the
Yeah.
Raiders were sucking so bad that nobody would even go to the games.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible. But that, of course, was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good time to be with the silver and black, for sure. But the Cowboys used to practice in Southern California at Cal Lutheran, a college actually my mom went to. So my earliest memories of, NFL football were the Cowboys before I became a Raiders fan. And, NWA and Public Enemy made me be a Raiders fan.
So we plan on you being with the Cowboys around Super Bowl time.
I'll never be a Cowboys fan. It just won't happen. Jerry Jones, and I can't get down with it.
Well, it's good that you're here. Thank you for doing our show.
Thanks for having me.
We're excited. I know you're a big surfer guy. You grew up in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
right? And music.
It's something I love to do. I never
still
claimed to-
surf?
Yeah, of course. I surfed yesterday, only for a minute, because I only had a little bit of time off, and so anyone that surfs knows it's really nice to get in the water. You kind of feel cleansed, and it's refreshing. So it's like taking a nice cold shower if you're hot and bothered.
So when did you decide to get into music? Surfing is your first love, right? Or was it music?
Well, I think I realized how much I loved music before I discovered surfing, but I never thought that music was something I could do, let alone, do in front of someone, because I was pretty shy. And I remain pretty shy for the most part, but it's terrifying to get up and spill your guts for people. It's kind of like, the first time you had to do a class presentation and read your poetry to a bunch of people. It's kind of what it's like, but a grown-up version,
When's the first time you picked up a guitar?
That must have been, I suppose I was around 6 or 7 years old, maybe younger. It's a blur. As I get older, I remember less, but, my dad taught me how to play a couple songs on the acoustic guitar, and I played a bunch of sports up into that point, so that was the first time I got to kind of, jam with my dad, and that was a very powerful moment for sure.
Weren't both of your parents musicians?
Yeah, my mom played guitar too, so my dad taught me some fancy stuff, how to do some leads and melody lines, and then my mom taught me some of the basic chords, and that I still play to this day.
So what kind of stuff were they into? Like, did they pass along their preferences to you, and were you inspired by that?
My mom always loved the Beatles and pop music, Prince, Michael Jackson, Madonna in the 80s, and the Cars. She loved a lot. The Cars, that was a big cassette tape. I remember growing up. The Cars are very overlooked. They're one of the best bands of all time. In fact, a huge influence on Weezer, who I'm a huge fan. We're huge fans of as well, and become friends with those guys. But and then my dad loved soul music. He loved James Brown and anything funky, basically.
So were their inspirations your inspirations, or did you grow
of
up
course.
and
I
love?
mean, whatever. I was limited to whatever they were listening to in the car. Yeah, so that's all I had. And then my older brother introduced me to the dark side of hip hop and metal. And punk rock music.
I got to ask, what metal bands do you like?
Do I like?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot, but I mean, obviously Pantera, Metallica, Sepultura, Chaos AD, and Roots were big records for me. And then the hardcore scene, has a lot of metal influence, and so there's a lot of underground bands I like from that world as well. But Slayer, of course, is great. I can't overlook Metallica. Metallica's great.
New album out.
Yeah. And from what I've heard, it seems pretty cool.
It is. It's
Yeah.
great. It's great. The stuff I've heard is amazing. But so when you write all of your songs, where do you draw from? Do you drawing from the pop side, or you just like mash everything together?
It's impossible to say. I mean, I think that with songwriting, you're just recycling all the stuff that influenced you. I'm never trying to write a certain kind of song. It's whatever comes to me at that moment, and I try to do my best to get it to sound as good as it is in my head. And it'll never be as good as it is in my head, but I do my best.
So what is your personal favorite genre?
I don't have one.
You don't?
No,
Come
no.
on.
No, I mean, I guess pop because it's popular music, and if you look back through history, you know, heavy rock was pop music at one point, and you know now hip hop music is basically pop music. So you know, that's the most. It has everything in it. So I guess if I had to pick one as a technicality, I would choose that.
Well, you guys are killing it now, and I know you've been touring. Did you go out with the Prophets of Rage, or?
We did, yeah.
Yeah. Is that over?
Yeah, it's over.
How was that?
That was cool. It was great to play with, you know, two of my favorite bands, which would be Rage Against the Machine and Public Enemy. So that was really cool, and I joined them on stage for a couple songs. So it was, you know, in that brief moment, I got to be the singer of Rage Against the Machine.
That's
and,
insane,
At
man.
least that's what I told myself. So it was pretty cool. And I never let them down. I always brought it as serious as I could.
Yeah. Did you bring the angst?
I tried my best. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So now, what are you guys going from here? Where are you going from here?
You know, I'm going to start to make the new record soon, and it's going to be the final Awolnation record, number 3. And
Final? Why? Why final?
because I think it's going to be so epic that that's got to be the last one. So you got to 3, nice hat trick, and be done with it. 3 is a good number.
That's right. Sports guy.
And I've been
Hockey player.
doing not so much, you know, even in biblical times. You know, 3 is a great number, and I've been doing a lot of producing of other artists as well, and that's really important to me too. So this is gonna be the 3rd one and the final one.
No kidding,
Yeah.
man. That's pretty. That's cryptic.
And I may be
almost.
kidding, but
Yeah. that
let's
can't
just go with
happen.
that for now.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, it's a pleasure to have you. Where
Thanks for
can
having
fans reach you online?
Oh, everywhere. You know, wherever you want, we'll be there.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So you heard it here.
Yeah.
Aaron from
Just
Awolnation.
Google search everywhere, and we'll be somewhere in that. You know.
All right. Thank you so much for coming
Yeah. Thanks
by.
for having me.
We
Merry
appreciate
Christmas,
it.
Happy
Yeah.
Holidays, and all that.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Go Cowboys.
Yeah. We'll see.